Alright guys, welcome to just a small little mini episode about finally going back to shows. It's been a long year, a lot of shows that got canceled. I was particularly very excited to see Alkaline Trio and Bad Religion, two of my favorite bands, play. They were canceled. A lot of shows were canceled, but things are coming back. We've got Punk Rock Bowling. We've got Newfound Glory. We've got AFI coming. But most importantly, we have Bad Religion and Alkaline Trio coming back. They decided to do a tour now with the unfortunate news of Mark Hoppus battling cancer. So obviously, Blink has been put on pause. So Alkaline Trio and I don't even know if they're related, but that is still a bummer of news. But I am very happy that they are going to do the tour. So that is number one on my list. But then also Death Cab. Death Cab is coming. Rise Against. There's so many shows. And I'm very excited for Punk Rock Bowling. I just got my club shows, so because Punk Rock Bowling is 3 days in Las Vegas. It's nice because it's going to be moved to September, so it should be getting cooler as opposed to hotter, because usually it's Memorial Weekend. But yeah, seeing some really cool bands. I'm super stoked to see Frank Turner, who is also one of my favorites, easily my favorite lyrics. But Descendants, I can't even, the Menzingers, there's so many bands that on this festival that I can't even announce, or I can't even think of it because there's just so many. But they have these club shows that happen after each night, and so I managed to I got to see Suicide Machines and Strung Out, two bands that I've loved for a long time, so I get to see them. And then also the next night, seeing Laura Jane Grace, which Against Me is also up there with me and on my list of bands to see. But I've never actually got to see Laura Jane Grace actually do her solo stuff, like outside of just a couple songs at this one event that was just super weird. It was just more of like telling stories and then doing two songs. So I'm very excited about seeing her live, especially in a smaller, I think this one's actually at a pool, but it will be at night. But Punk Rock Bowling is just a very cool thing because people from all over the world come. There's a bowling tournament. There is a poker tournament, like or Texas Hold'em or something like that tournament. But it's just a very cool event. I will be taking a lot of videos, taking a lot of pictures to see and share that, because it's 3 days of just awesomeness. And it'll also be my first time going to Punk Rock Bowling since I've quit drinking. So I'm hoping that there's some coffees. If not, I will be drinking a lot of energy drinks and a lot of waters. But this is a mini episode, so I got to get back to what I was talking about. And I got to go to my first show since the pandemic has happened. It was June 26, 2021 at the Dive Bar. And not just a dive bar, but the dive bar in Las Vegas. And I went to go see. I was going to see Last Gang, and because they're part of Fat Records, and I like them. But then they're also playing with this band called Get Dead, and I've wanted to see them for a while. And then another band prior to them was Guilty by Association. I hadn't seen them in a long time. I've seen them open for a couple, not really open, but play before the headliners for a lot of shows, and I didn't even realize it until I kept staring at their logo, and then I heard a couple songs. I was like, I'm very familiar with this, and then I was like, oh, okay, they've been around for a long time, and that's why I know this name. It was great. The place was packed. It was the most packed I've seen the dive bar. Maybe other people have seen it more packed. I'm looking forward to going back and seeing Last Gang play with Teenage Bottle Rocket there later this year. It's a cool little bar, and yeah, so it's just great seeing it. It was just weird because some people, I think it was just weird for some people to get out. Like one guy, I'm sipping on my Pepsi, and a guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man, if something happens, will there be consequences?" And first he asks if these people next to me are my friends, and I'm like, I don't know these people. And I'm like, what consequences? And he just repeats it, and I'm like, I don't know what you mean. And he repeats it, and I'm like, to them, I don't care what happens to them. And then he's like, no, if something happens, will there be consequences? I said, with me, yes, because all I want to do is see these bands perform. I don't want anything to stop that from happening. And then he proceeded to go to 4 or 5 other people trying to fight them. But yeah, so it was, that part was annoying, but it was cool seeing people play live. It was cool seeing people mosh. It was cool people seeing sing along. Overall, just have a great time. Guilty by Association was very, very cool seeing them. Last Gang, like I said, they were the reason why I went to the show, and I was very excited to see them perform live. It's been probably, I think the last time I saw them was at Punk Rock Bowling 2 years ago. They had a whole Fat Wreck night, which was still one of my favorite shows because you had Last Gang, then you had the Bomb Pops, and then you had Lagwagon close that night, and it was just such a cool show. But the funny part was that my buddy Ryan back home was watching one of the members from Last Gang, his cat, and so we, or cat or dog, an animal, and so when I was talking to him, we took a selfie and he sent it to him, and my friend Ryan decided to say, cool, fuck you both. Yeah, they did awesome. It makes me more excited because they also are playing Punk Rock Bowling, so I will have seen them 3 times in a matter of, I think, 3 months. So that's really cool. And then, like I said, I had not seen Get Dead. I had listened to them prior because they show up a lot on my Spotify, but I gave them more of a listen just for that week because I wanted to be familiar with some music, and they were really cool live. It was weird because I don't know if a lot of people were there to see them because it seemed like there was less people in there when they performed, but their energy for the people that wanted to see them was definitely there. They were cool, and then it was weird because they were, and first off, let me say, I'm getting older, and so it was midnight, and I was like, I gotta go. They had done their last song, then these people started rapping up there. I started walking out, and then they're like, oh, we're doing an encore. So then but I was already well past my bedtime. I needed to get out. The rappers were pretty interesting on my way out, but they were awesome. If you get a chance to see any of these 3 bands, absolutely do so. Go to shows. Go. There's a lot of them. There's a lot coming. Enjoy yourself. And yeah, I will. Like I said, next show I will talk a little bit about that because I'm just really, really excited about music being back. So, have a good night.